and welcome to my Big Six Slasher Franchises tier list. Ranking, same kind of thing, whatever. So I haven't really looked at this. The six, I'm assuming. So it's Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Friday the 13th, Halloween. I don't know if there's more Jason films down here. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Scream. Okay, first one, Nightmare on Elm Street 1. You know, as good of a film as it is, and I know that it is like a classic, for me personally, yeah, it's going to be S tier. Actually, no, sorry, A tier. Anyway, next, Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Do you know, I actually really enjoy Nightmare on Elm Street 2. It's actually quite entertaining. It's not a great film, but like it's really entertaining. So that can go in B tier. The kills are really good in it as well, from what I remember. We're into the controversial ones already. I should probably leave this till like near the end so that I get the watch time. But I actually really like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. It's a version of Freddy that is like genuinely scary. Like he makes jokes and stuff, but like this version of Freddy is really fucking scary. I think he's scarier than the original. No offense to the original, of course. I think his films are better overall. But I can't remember the actor's name. His version of Freddy Krueger, I think is so cool. And like I know that a lot of people like the main issue people have with him is that with the original Freddy Krueger, it's just hinted at that he's a child molester and not just a child killer. Whereas with this one, it's confirmed. I don't have a problem with that. Obviously, I have a problem with child molesters, but the whole point of Freddy Krueger is you're supposed to be scared of him. You're supposed to not like him. You're supposed to think he's disgusting. You're not supposed to. I know, like obviously, with most horror villains, you do root for them as a horror fan. That's just pretty normal. But like that's not the intention. And it's very clear that that's not the intention with this Freddy Krueger. So, I think they did really well. Next, Dream Warriors is S tier. Dream Warriors is an S tier Nightmare on Elm Street film. I think that one and the first one is like the scarier the original Freddy Krueger has been. Like he's not super scary in either of them, to be honest, but them two are probably his like scariest versions. But they're also really good films in general as well, which the remake isn't really. So you have to bear with me a little bit with the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels. I don't remember them too much. I've seen them. I've seen every Nightmare on Elm Street film at least like 4 or 5 times, including the sequels. Probably more for like Dream Warriors and the original. But yeah, I can't. If this is this the one with where he turns someone into a cockroach and then like crushes them, or is that the 5th one? I'm not sure. I might just put all like 4, 5, 6. I can't see 6. It's not on here for some reason. I guess it's further down somewhere. New Nightmare's down there. I don't know. We'll come to it whenever. Yeah. So I think obviously like after the 3rd one, it's a common opinion. After the 3rd one, they got way too goofy. Like the little bit of like ounce of scariness that Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger had was completely gone by this film, and then so on until like maybe New Nightmare. I'm not a big fan of New Nightmare, but the scare factor definitely comes back a little bit in that one. I'm probably just going to put all the sequels after the 3rd one in probably D tier, because I feel like C tier is way too nice. I feel like there should be more tiers. I might have to change. I might have to add I might have to add another one, if it comes to it. So onto the Child's Play. I mean, you can clearly see there's more. There's more. Do you know what? I'm just gonna go through. Okay, I don't want to just like skip between them. I don't know where the sixth one is. Is Freddy's Dead the sixth one? I don't think it is. I think it's the seventh one. Anyway, Freddy's Dead is D tier. I don't think I need to explain myself on that. Nightmare on Elm Street anymore. Just New Nightmare. That's weird. Okay. I'll give a little bit. I'll give a 5-second explanation for Freddy's Dead if anyone actually needs it. Freddy's Dead is fucking terrible. The effects terrible. The story's terrible. And what I said about the sequels after the third one being goofy and like humorous more than, I mean, I struggle to call them humorous because they're not funny. They try to be, but they're not funny. Yeah, Freddy's Dead just goes way over the fucking line. So yeah, New Nightmare. I've always had like a weird relationship, I guess, with New Nightmare. Some days I've really liked it, and some days I thought it's quite boring. I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's obviously better than the sequels, but I think I'd much prefer watch A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 than New Nightmare, so I should probably actually, yeah, I think I was going to say, to be fair, I should probably in each tier like rank them, so like if that one's better than that one, put it there, but they're all already naturally gone into those positions, so that's fine. I think that's all the Nightmare on Elm Street films. There's definitely, like, there's some missing, right? I'm sure there is. I know Freddy vs. Jason is considered separate. And I did see that on here somewhere. Anyway, I guess that's it for the Nightmare on Elm Street films on here. The first one in the Child's Play franchise is Bride of Chucky for some reason. Maybe I should like... No, fuck, I was going to rearrange them, but no, I can't be bothered. Okay, so Bride of Chucky is a cult classic, I would say. I'm quite a big fan of Chucky and the Child's Play franchise. I'd consider Bride of Chucky maybe... See, this is where, like, in terms of film quality, I'd say, like, maybe a C, but because it's my own personal ranking of, like, how I enjoy these films, it's got to be an A tier. It's a really fun film. It's really entertaining. The kills are pretty gruesome and pretty entertaining as well. So yeah, I really enjoy Bride of Chucky. It came out the year I was born as well, so that's a fun little fact for you. It screams 90s. It's the theme in that film is just so 90s. It's like compared to the first Child's Play, wherever that is on here, is like very 80s, like with the acting and the themes and stuff. Bride of Chucky is incredibly 90s, even though it wasn't the first Child's Play film to be made in the 90s. Okay, next is the Child's Play remake. C tier. Oh, actually, yeah, that's right. I was going to say I need to pay attention to like which position they're going to be in the tiers. That's right as well. So Child's Play remake is another one with like how I feel about New Nightmare, where like sometimes I really like it. The first time I watched it, I really enjoyed it, but then I feel like the more I watch it, it just seems like a bit goofy. Like I just don't. It sounds stupid to say because the original film is about a ghost possessing a doll. But I just don't see this happening. What happens in the remake with like the bad AI, and then I don't know. Maybe that is more realistic than the original. I don't know. Whatever. Either way, I enjoy the original a lot more, and I enjoy New Nightmare a little bit more as well. Child's Play 2 is S tier, absolutely S tier. Child's Play 2 is the best Child's Play movie in the franchise. It's the perfect blend of like funny Chucky, which is kind of like, that's why it's next to it, and Nightmare on Elm Street 3, It's like the perfect blend of like scary Chucky and like funny Chucky, but like I think more. It's not the perfect, like the perfect blend to me is more scary than funny, so that's why I call it the perfect blend. It's not a 50-50. It's also the, like I just explained, it's the scariest probably of the Child's Play movies as well. Yeah, I fucking love Child's Play 2. The acting's great. What's her name? The sister, she's really good. And the end, the last like sequence in the movie is incredible. One of the best in any horror film. Child's Play. Oh, actually, hold on. I prefer Child's Play 2 to Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Child's Play 3. Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna do it. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is going to A tier. When I think of them like next to each other, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is the best of the Nightmare on Elm Street films, in my opinion. But I don't enjoy it nearly as much as I enjoy Child's Play 2. So, anyway, Child's Play 3. Again, like these films are like, even when they're not so good, there's always something going on. They're always entertaining. So, I do prefer Bride of Chucky. I'm probably gonna put it B tier. He's really funny as well. It's one of the funniest Chucky's like versions of Chucky, I think. So I do definitely prefer it to the remake. Probably don't prefer it more than Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Oh, there it is. Child's Play 1. See, I don't know between A and S. You know, just for like, I know it's like meant to be like my personal opinion, like not based on like movie quality, but the fact that it was, the first film was like completely, not like completely original, like the Killer Doll thing has been done before, but Chucky the character was an original character. And my apologies, someone was knocking on my door. Yeah, I can't really remember where I got to with that, but Child's Play 1 is an S tier movie. Actually, yeah, S tier movie. Yeah, I was basically saying that because of the idea being so like original or whatever, I think makes it an S tier, and I do enjoy it quite a lot anyway. So I feel like my voice is going croaky. That's because I'm not used to talking for this long. Cult of Chucky is probably probably D tier. I feel like it's on the same kind of level as Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Like, the story's a bit shit. It's kind of cool seeing Andy as like an adult, but and there's like some funny one-liners, but I would be reluctant to put it as C, even if it was behind the remake, because I feel like the remake is just quite a few bars above Cult of Chucky. Curse of Chucky is another one of my favourite Child's Play movies, and it's gonna go in A tier. It was the revitalization, I would say, of Chucky being scary. It's one of the scarier Chucky films, and it came right after Seed of Chucky, which I can't see on here for some reason. Yeah, so it came right after Seed of Chucky, which was one of the worst Child's Play movies, and like it's like kind of like the Freddy's Dead version of the Child's Play franchise, where like it just went way over the top with the humor. It was a bit more funnier than Freddy's Dead, but like that's not how I want my Child's Play movies to be. So it came straight after that, and it was just a nice thing to see. I think he has some of the best one-liners in here as well. As I've already just given a small review of Seed of Chucky, but yeah, Seed of Chucky's absolutely D tier. Actually, do you know what? I keep fucking forgetting to do this. So Curse of Chucky is probably there, I'd say. Seed of Chucky D tier, absolutely. I'm not going to talk about it because I just did. Just because it is still kind of entertaining, even though, like, it's an entertaining film. It's not a good film, it's an entertaining film, but it's also not what I want my Chucky films to be. So I would probably put it between 4 and 5 Nightmare on Elm Street, because these two are just fucking boring. Yeah, basically. Is there any more Child's Play movies here before I move on to Freddy vs. Jason and Friday the 13th? I don't think so. Got 1, 2, 3. Bride, Seed, Cult, Remake, Curse. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Freddy vs. Jason, again, obviously in terms of movie quality, would absolutely not go in S tier, but for me, this is one of my favourite films of all time. And like, Jason is my absolute favourite horror villain of all time. And seeing him, obviously, I didn't see it until I was much older, because when this came out, I was like 6. I just started getting into Jason and like horror films when this came out, so I saw it quite early. Like in my horror movie watching history. And yeah, it just fucking slaps. Like, obviously I already knew who Jason was, and I had pretty good like idea about Freddy. So being able to see these two, I think I enjoy it obviously a lot more now, but being able to like, it's just like, you'll never see something like this happen again, where it was just very much made for the fans. Yeah, I fucking love Freddy vs. Jason. It's so good, and the kills are so fucking good in it as well. And the final fight between them is really fucking entertaining too. I will put my 2 cents in that I know that the ending is like the main issue with like versus films is that they don't, like, in people's opinions, they don't like, they very rarely have an actual winner. Like, it's always like a draw, or they both lose type of thing, or they both win. And they do kind of do that in this, but it's like when Jason's walking out the water holding Freddy's head, and Freddy winks, so like he's still alive, but Jason's walking out of the water with Freddy's head in his hand. So whether he survived that or not, it's pretty fucking obvious that Jason won the fight. And as a huge Jason fan, makes me enjoy the film so much more. And now onto the Friday the 13th films, which will obviously be fun, because I've just said Jason's my favourite horror villain of all time. However, Friday the 13th, the original movie, is a C tier movie. Unfortunately, it's incredibly dated, and obviously I said Jason's my favourite horror villain. He's not even in that movie, so yeah, it's kind of like, it's very like cheesy, like 80s slasher movie, like exactly what you'd expect. It's kind of like, it just feels like a sleepaway camp movie, not really a Friday the 13th film, but like, because of how they became with the sequels. This doesn't really, like, if you watch those films and then you watch this one doesn't feel like a Friday the 13th film. It's just kind of slow. But I do prefer, I'm still a fan of like those kind of movies, so I think it's better than New Nightmare and Child's Play. I know I'm going to get crucified for not putting New Nightmare in front of it, but this is my list, so go fuck yourself. Okay, the Friday the 13th remake, A tier, which is also, I'm pretty sure, an unpopular opinion. This is a scary version of Jason. Derek Me is like my second, maybe, actually probably my first. I really wish he'd got more films so I could like analyze his Jason more, but he's definitely top 2. He's my favorite Jason actor, probably out of them all. And the film is really good. It's very like, the story is very like predictable. Like, it's very Friday the 13th-esque, but it's a Friday the 13th film, so what are you expecting? I hate that people like hate on it just because there's tits in it, there's like unneeded nudity, the story's shit, it's just Jason killing people. Did you watch the other Friday the 13th films? The ones that you do like? Because they're the exact same thing. I think it's my... Honestly... probably there. I don't know. Them two are hard to choose between. Friday the 13th Part 5, is that? Actually, we'll just do Part 2 first, because that makes more sense. Okay, Friday the 13th Part 2 is very, like, it reminds me a lot of, like, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 in terms of, like, vibes. Well, not really vibes, but because Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is very colourful. But in terms of, like, the same thing, kind of, but, like, just way more entertaining. Yeah, I probably should have said that. Nightmare on Elm Street 2 I find a lot more entertaining than the first one, but I enjoy the first one quality wise. I prefer that movie over the second one. But yeah, Friday the 13th Part 2 is better than the original, obviously. It's the introduction of Jason, which, as I've said, is my favourite horror movie villain of all time. And it's just not, you know, it's very similar to the first one, where, like, you don't really, like, see the killer until at the end. It's Friday the 13th, it's a bunch of teenagers getting murdered, and I fucking love it. So, where would I put it, though? Probably, like, here, to be honest, like, B tier. Actually, probably, like, yeah, I think I prefer Nightmare on Elm Street 2 for 2 more. Part 3 is it's good. I'd say it's about the same level as Friday the 13th Part 2, to be fair. It's the film where he first gets his iconic hockey mask, which is obviously pretty cool, but it doesn't change how much I enjoy the film or not. So I think I'd probably put it... I prefer it to the original. Do I prefer it more than the Nightmare on Elm Street remake? Probably not. Part 4, where are you? Part 4. Is this it? No, it's Part 7. There it is. Friday the 13th Part 4 is my second favourite Friday the 13th movie, I think. I think the final chapter and the remake are very, like, neck and neck, so for that reason I'm going to put them next to each other and probably put the fourth one above the remake. Again, it's a Friday the 13th movie, it's just the same thing, it's Jason killing people, and I fucking love it. Except I think the kills, there's a bit more of a story in this one, I'll explain in a second. I think the kills in this one are a lot better than the other ones that I've mentioned so far. Probably, actually, to be fair, probably the ones I'm going to be talking about, because I think this is probably one of the Friday the 13th films that has the better kills, like more creative kills. Yeah, the story is not just Jason killing people like it has been in the other ones. There's Tommy Jarvis, I think, is introduced in this one as like Jason's arch enemy. He comes back in Part 6. And spoiler alert, the film's been out for a long time. Basically, this is called the final chapter because it was meant to be the final chapter, and Jason gets killed at the end of it by this kid called Tommy Jarvis. But of course, as you can see, it was not the end, which I'm very glad about because I fucking love these films. So Part 5 doesn't technically have Jason in it. It's like Season of the Witch, Halloween 3, but for Friday the 13th. But once again, I think it's a really entertaining film. It's like Friday the 13th, the original, because obviously Jason's not in it, and it's just someone in that universe going around killing people. But the hockey mask is there because it's someone pretending to be Jason, and the kills are pretty cool. So I think the original's better though. Friday the 13th Part 6. I bet you can't guess where this is gonna go. Woo! I fucking love Friday the 13th Part 6. It's the ultimate Friday the 13th film, in my opinion. It's everything I've just said, so it's just Jason going around killing people. But less first person shots, which I fucking hate, I'll be honest. They were a lot in Friday the 13th 1, 2, 3, I think. And Part 5, I'm pretty sure. Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, is the best Friday the 13th film in my opinion. I get the most enjoyment out of it. It's got the best kills. It's just the better version. It's the best version of Jason in my opinion. Very, very good film. Part 7 is probably my least watched Friday the 13th film, to be honest. Not a fan of superpowers being added to the franchise. It's a bit weird, but it is still quite an entertaining film. It's Kane Hodder's debut as Jason as well. Kind of a weak start, unfortunately. I'm not the biggest. Like, Kane Hodder's obviously iconic as fuck. Is Jason's iconic as fuck. But, oh, okay. Thanks Epic Games. But yeah, he's, not my favourite Jason, and... Wait, where have I dropped that by accident? Found it. So, yeah, he's not my favourite Jason, and I think there definitely has been Jasons before. Jason's better than him. I think even Part 4 Jason's better than him, to be honest. He's like my third favourite Jason. I think he's just a bit too short to be Jason, to be an intimidating Jason. He's got cool kills though, like the sleeping bag kill he's got in this film is really interesting. It's a good kill. I like the version of it in the remake more, where he dangles, like locks them in a sleeping bag and then dangles them above a campfire. Like, that just sounds fucking awful. But I love it. So Part 7, I would probably say probably high C tier, above the original, because Jason's in it. Friday the 13th Part 8, another one I enjoy quite a bit that people don't really enjoy quite a bit. People love to call it Jason Takes a Boat, not Jason Takes Manhattan. But yeah, calling a film that and then barely having him in New York is kind of shit, but the film is still good though. Like, the kills on the boat are good, all the stuff on the boat is very entertaining. The characters are incredibly fucking goofy, but it makes it an entertaining film, so I'm happy with it. I think it's a good film. I much prefer it to the 7th one. I probably prefer it to the 7th I probably prefer it more than Part 2 to be probably not actually. Probably like there. Yeah, that's right. Jason X was the first horror film I ever saw in my life when I was 5 years old. Fun fact. Again, another Friday the 13th film that is not very well loved, but I find it incredibly entertaining. Yeah, it's dumb, yeah, it's stupid. It's Jason in space. What did you expect? It is also the home of the best Jason kill ever. Probably one of the best kills in any horror movie ever, to be completely honest. So, not for that reason, because that doesn't make a film. The film overall, I would probably put it probably there. It's an entertaining film. Jason Goes to Hell, probably very bottom of C tier. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, it's obviously better than Cult, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, 5, 6, Seed of Chucky, but like, what the fuck? What were they smoking when they came with that story, man? It's not even like that entertaining. It's kind of dark as well, like lighting wise. It's just, you can barely see it. I just don't like it. Halloween 1. Oh shit, my finger slipped, my bad. Yeah, A tier. I think Final Chapter's better. I think Nightmare on Elm Street 3's better. Child's Play, Freddy vs. Jason, which is probably the one that people disagree with the most, and Part 6, Friday the 13th. It's a good film. It's absolutely not the absolute pedestal king of horror movies that some people make it out to be. I think it's incredibly overrated, but that doesn't mean it's a bad film. Overrated doesn't mean bad. It means overrated. It's not that great. It's literally every Friday the 13th film, but filmed like differently, like filmed better, I guess. And yeah, it's just a guy in a mask going around killing kids, which is the same as Friday the 13th, really. And I've said I just prefer the Jason character more. I don't think this version of Michael Myers either is very intimidating. I don't know, I just think I could beat him up. Anyway, Halloween 2, I actually prefer quite a bit more, but not more than the final chapter. It's kind of just the same thing again, but it's in a hospital. What's next? Halloween, where's Season of the Witch? There it is. Now this is hard to rank. Well, it's not really. Boom. It's not a Michael Myers film, despite being called Halloween 3. It's just I think it's 3 short stories. It's kind of like Trick or Treat, if you've seen that. It's like just a collection of short horror stories that revolve around Halloween, and they are all pretty good. If the film wasn't called Halloween, it would be a lot less hated. Halloween 4, kind of just the same again, but a bit more boring. Halloween's very similar to Nightmare on Elm Street when it comes to the sequels. They just get worse and worse and worse. But I think 4 is definitely the best from 2 onwards, except for maybe H2O. I think H2O is a bit better. Halloween 4 can go. I think it's definitely underrated. Halloween 4. It's not a good film, but it's definitely underrated. I'd probably put it. I definitely wouldn't rate it higher than Part 3, Friday the 13th. Halloween 5 was absolute fucking garbage. The most boring horror film I've ever seen in my life. And honestly, Freddy's Dead, at least it's it's not funny, but it's at least there's things to look at. Halloween 5 is just fucking nothing. Part 6, where is it? There it is. Kind of the same, but slightly more entertaining. I put it there because at least the Nightmare on Elm Street films have creative kills. The Halloween H2O. Yeah, I put it about there. I prefer it to Part 8, Halloween 3, but I'd rather watch probably the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I'm gonna get fucking roasted so hard in the comments, man, but I don't care. These are the films I enjoy in the order that I enjoy them, so nothing you can say can change that, unfortunately. Yeah, H2O is a pretty good film. It's Michael Myers. I don't really know what to say. Jamie Lee Curtis comes back. She's pretty good. I hate the fucking hair though. Anyway, Halloween remake. Is there anything else before? Oh yeah, Halloween Resurrection. Okay. Halloween Resurrection. There. It's another one like Seed of Chucky, where it's really bad. The stupid fucking one-liners. There's fucking rappers karate kicking fucking Michael. It just makes Michael look like a fucking dickhead in that film. But it's entertaining, so it's definitely not D2. What's next? Halloween remake. I really enjoy the Halloween remake. I know that's another one that's not very well liked because it's Rob Zombie, and Rob Zombie adds a lot of sex, profanity to his work that is not really needed, but that's his style. It's just what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of it myself, but I enjoyed this film. I know another thing is the fact that they gave him such a backstory and made it look like that he is the way he is because he was mistreated as a child, when the whole point of Michael Myers is that he's just pure evil. Nothing would have changed that. He was just born that way. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that either, but it literally says it on the poster, it's a reimagining. It doesn't take anything away from the original, it's just another version of Michael Myers. And I think the film's really entertaining. I think, honestly, everyone always says that the second half of the film is way better than the first one. I actually much prefer the first half. I love the part where he's a kid, like where he's like killing people and like you see him spiral and shit. I think the kills are better when he's a kid for a start, and then the second half is just like the first film. It's just kind of like you've watched it a couple of times, it's just a bit boring. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think I've seen Halloween 2. Have I seen Halloween 2? I think I've seen it once, but it was so long ago, I can't really remember it. So that needs a rewatch. We'll just leave that out for now. I'll put it at the end. The Halloween 2018 remake is an S tier movie. It's my favourite Halloween film. And I'll explain why in just a second. Where would I put it? Probably there. Yeah, Halloween 2018 is my favourite Halloween film. I've got a review, about a 3-minute review, it's not very long, on my channel that I uploaded in October last year for the build up to Halloween Ends, which isn't on here. I've just noticed Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends aren't on here. This must have been made a while ago. Yeah, this is my favourite version of Michael Myers. He's also my favourite actor for Michael Myers as well. It reminds me a lot of Derek Mears' Jason, where like he's just fucking massive, he's tall, he's hulking, he's intimidating beyond belief. Like, this version of Michael Myers is actually scary. Like, he doesn't really do all that much different to like the original, the way he acts, but like he just looks menacing and terrifying. It probably helps a lot that instead of like in every other Halloween film it's just been basic stab kill. Like he hasn't, he's probably what I would say is like one of the least creative horror icons when it comes to kills ever. But in this version of Michael Myers is brutal. Like, this is the most brutal Michael Myers you'll ever see. Well, I don't know if you'll ever see, I can't see the future, but this is the most brutal Michael Myers that we've got so far, and I just love watching him kill people, which I can't say for literally any of the other Halloween films. So we're just on to Scream and Texas Chainsaw Massacre now. Just move the order of these a little bit. Scream 1 is an S tier film, and I would put it second, to be honest. It's incredibly creative for the genre of film that it is. It's a slasher film, but Wes Craven did exceptionally well to make it feel original. It's a play. It's not a. I'm reluctant to use the word parody. It's not a parody of horror. Well, it is a parody of horror films, but it's not. It's like it's not a comedy. Like, it's funny, but like it's not meant to be a comedy. It's still scary. It's still a very, very well made good film, and it's just fun. Like, the Scream films, all the Scream films are just fun to watch, and to see like all the horror movie references. Like, as a horror fan, you'll fucking like. There's no way you can't like Scream. Scream 2. I was going to say as well, actually, the Scream franchise is probably the most consistent horror franchise I've ever seen. Like, it doesn't really have a bad film. Scream 3 is probably the worst one, but like, it's not a bad film. It's still a really good film. Anyway, Scream 2 feels more like a typical slasher movie. Like, there's not as many like horror movie references, or like, what's the word? Not fourth wall breaking, like self-awareness. But it's still a really good film. I'm not a fan of Randy's death. I love Randy, and do you know what? Just because Randy dies in that movie, it can go in the bottom of A2. It would have gone there anyway. I don't know what I'm talking about. Scream 3, like I just said, is probably the worst of the Scream films, but it's still a really good film. So, I'd probably put it Child's Play 3 or Scream 3. Scream. I'll put it at the top of. No, I'll put it second in B2. What's next? Scream 4. Yes, you see, Scream 5 and 6 aren't on here either, so this must have been made years ago. Scream 4 is my second favourite Scream movie. It's again, it's like the Halloween 2018 and Friday the 13th remake versions of Ghostface, like of their characters, but for Ghostface. Like, this Ghostface is fucking brutal. Like, this is, I'd say it's probably more brutal than 5 and 6, although 5 and 6 are also like edging it. They are close. The intro kill, like the opening kill to Scream 6 was something. Scream 4 though is very good, very fun kills. The killer was a bit predictable, which apparently is not a popular opinion. I could see Jill being the killer for fucking the entire film, but apparently most people didn't think that was going to happen. But yeah, it's a really good film anyway. The kills are really good, the Ghostface lines are really good. I would probably put it probably like there. Definitely overrated these fucking Halloween films. These need to go down a bit. Yes, anyway. I'm just going to, like, hypothetically tell you where I'd put Scream 5 and 6. So, Scream 5 would probably be... I do prefer it to Scream... Do I prefer it to Scream 4? Do you know what? I'd probably say about the same level. That one's got some really gory kills as well. I love gore in horror films. Whenever, like, a killer that isn't usually, like, gory is really fun. Ghostface has some pretty fucked up kills. So, but I think I prefer the Scream 4 story. So I'd probably put Scream 5 probably in front of the remake here, like right next to 4. And Scream 6 I'd probably put after Nightmare on Elm Street 2 here at the top of B2. Leatherface. Oh, the Halloween 2 remake. Oh wait, yes, I was going to leave that there because I hadn't seen it. Okay, let's put these Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies in order, and then we can start. Start ranking those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remake, prequel, Texas Chainsaw 3D. Perfect. Okay, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Top of A tier. I know it's a classic. I know it came before. Pretty much, it did come before. Like, out of all these films, this is the oldest one, and it's really fucking good. Especially for the time it came out. It's not really like, everyone always thinks it's like a dead gory film just by like memory, but it's not. There's not that much gore in it at all, really. But it's kind of like Friday the 13th and like Halloween in terms of it's not just a guy killing people, it's a family, but that's essentially the plot. Like, someone goes to a police station of bunch of killers, they kill people. Obviously, Leatherface went on to be incredibly iconic and was the host of many sequels. But yeah, I don't think it's all that. Like, it's a fun film to watch like once, maybe twice a year. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. In terms of like film quality, I'd probably put it D tier, maybe like bottom of C tier. But entertainment wise, like personally, probably like there. Yeah, that's about right. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I'm just trying to speed through these a little bit now because my voice is hurting. Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre is terrible, but I think it's better than Cold Chucky. It's better than Call of Chucky. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, we're just not gonna fucking talk about that, are we? It's a bit more entertaining than Curse of Michael Myers, though. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake is incredible. It's one of the best remakes, and I'm starting to realise that every one of these franchises has that one film that makes the character, the main villain, the main character we're talking about, the main killer, incredibly more hulking and like terrifying and scary than the original did. And for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's the remake. This version, I will always prefer the original version of Leatherface, but the version in the remake is very, very scary. I prefer the mask in the original as well. I'm not a big fan of the mask in the remake. I'd probably put it pretty high, to be honest. Probably like there. I don't remember. I have seen the prequel to the remake. Don't remember it too much. I don't really like. It's weird because like they make the way they film it is like so there's like this surprise that this is gonna happen. Like the cop most of a good portion of the film he's like pretending he's a good guy, but like because it's a prequel, you've already seen the first one, you know he's gonna turn bad. So it's just kind of like lame. But it's still a good film. It's just kind of more of the same, but backwards in time. So I'd probably put it like there. 3 more to go. I don't know how long I've been recording, but it feels like forever. Texas Chainsaw 3D, a very hated film, I'm pretty sure, among the Texas Chainsaw Massacre community. I thought it was quite entertaining. I thought it was alright. I will mutually agree though. The what does she say? Something. What does she say to him when she calls him cuz? Do you think cuz? Oh mate, I don't even want to talk about it. It's so cringe. And again, like the first half of that film, I think makes Leatherface look really like scary, but then that last sequence, I hate it. Yeah. I have seen the Leatherface prequel, but I don't remember fucking anything about it. So that's where we're going to leave it. This is my ranking of the 6... What was it? The big 6 slasher franchises. Remember, before you've probably already commented, but this is my personal opinion. Everyone has different opinions. That's the fun of doing this, of watching these videos. If you clicked on this video and then my list was exactly the same as yours, that's boring. Why do you want to watch that? That's boring. But yeah, anyway, just be respectful in the comments, or don't. I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. I play horror games. I play loads of horror games on my channel. Mainly that than anything else. I don't really do this kind of thing very often, but I want to do it more. I want to do more stuff like related to horror and as a genre, not just playing horror games, because I feel like that's all I do. So subscribe if you want to see that so you don't miss it. Goodbye.